Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, your two artsy gals. Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey everybody, this is Katie.
This is Sharon.
Yay, Sharon's back! I'm so fucking excited that you're back to record with me again because I missed you.
Me too. I missed you too.
Not that I didn't have fun talking to Bob, and I had a blast with Lonnie, but it just wasn't the same.
Oh, I know. I missed you. So I'm glad to be back.
Yay! And I feel like it's kind of Groundhog's Day because this will be attempt number 3. Is this attempt number 3 in recording this episode? I think
it's actually attempt number 4.
Is it number 4? Fuck. So yeah, because my computer has been having such bad problems. Sharon and I have lost this episode. We lost it 3 times, so this is attempt number 4. Jeez Louise. We are going to be talking about paper quilling today because it is awesome.
It is.
So yeah, did we bring it up? I'm trying to remember the episode that we were talking about paper quilling. Was it our paper episode, the one that we did on paper?
It was, because
Okay.
you did mention it, because I remember I brought up my friend Rachel, who, I mean, I knew about paper quilling, but like, I'd never really, I don't know, thought about it, but I saw her doing it, and it was pretty cool. And then you really got into it, which was really cool.
Yeah, well, that episode prompted, because I'll probably screw up and call it paper scrolling during this episode, because I keep calling it paper scrolling, because I feel like you're making little scrolls, so, I don't know. But, that's what prompted me to buy the tools.
Yeah.
Was that episode, and then they sat around for like 6 months until I decided to actually, I kind of screwed around with them when I got them a little bit, and just practiced doing a couple things, but I didn't really start working on them until I decided to make that monogram for my niece's bedroom for Christmas.
Wow. Oh, that was the first thing that you did.
N. So that was really the first thing that I did.
Wow.
So, and I guess we should kind of slow our roll here and
yeah, why don't you cover like what it is?
What the fuck it is?
Yeah.
So, in case, I'm sure most people have seen it and maybe they just don't know what it's called. So paper quilling is really just rolling up little pieces of paper, like making little curlicues or bends or waves of paper, and you glue it down onto a surface and kind of almost sculpt pictures out of these little tiny thin strips of paper.
But you're like laying down the flat part, so it's not like you're having curlicues come up.
No,
like
you're laying it on edge.
Yes.
Yeah, like on the edge. So it's really cool. And I'm going to post example pictures because I recently did another project where I made the sugar skull.
Yeah, that was super cool. You know, it's so interesting because like you did that monogram. I think that's a little more traditional, like what I've seen with paper scrolling and like flowers. And then you did that sugar skull and I was like, whoa. And then like when you showed me the Star Wars stuff,
yeah,
that blew my mind. And then what blew my mind even more, again, maybe we're jumping ahead a little bit. I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
That's okay.
But some of that furniture.
Oh my God, I totally fucking forgot about the furniture stuff. See, this is going to be a scattery episode because this is the 4th time we've done it. And I've forgotten what I prepared for it. And I don't know, but we found it was like Victorian era furniture that was decorated in scrolled paper. Like a scene.
Yeah, and then it was like it was lacquered over it. It was insane. I had never...
Okay, I'm going to have to try to find that link again just to post that because it blew my mind. And that
You
kind of
do.
goes along with what Lonnie and I were talking about with decorating furniture last week.
Mm-hmm.
So you could use paper scrolling to do that. I mean, like, it was crazy. I will find that picture because it absolutely blows me away. And I will also post the link to I can't remember if the website was called Geek Crafts or it was just calling it Geek Crafts, but somebody...
I think the website was Geek Crafts.
Was it? Because somebody was using paper quilling and, like, they made, like, Darth Vader's head and Boba Fett's head and C-3PO's head. And then they went on and they were doing, like, Iron Man. And my mind was blown.
Yeah.
I kind of freaked out a little bit.
It was incredible. They did such a beautiful job. They executed it really well.
I know.
And that's the thing, like, with the paper scrolling, I think, like, it could be executed really poorly. I mean, with, like, anything, but, like, you know, I think depending on what you're choosing as your subject or your, you know, because I've seen some bad ones. I think it was mostly I just didn't like
You just didn't like what they did.
Yeah, maybe the image. I didn't like what they did, but each their own.
And I think that it's really easy to... So I really like the two projects that I've done so far, but I can also, like, looking at other things people do, and my husband got me a book for Christmas called Paper Quilling Chinese Style. I don't know how to pronounce this. How do you pronounce ZHU?
ZHU, I'm not sure.
Lincoln Paper Arts Museum. That's who published this. I just am really bad at pronouncing any kind of name like that. But it has some images and examples of Chinese style paper quilling, and they use more, like, I feel like I kind of got stuck in making the little scrolly swirls. And that's kind of all I did. I varied it a little bit, and I did some different shapes, but these, I'm guessing the way you do it Chinese style, you're making these big swooping, almost like Nike swooshes, but cooler, like, and they layer different colors together, and some of the stuff that they do in this book I have no words for it, honestly.
Wow.
And it's made me realize, okay, I need to stop. Like, now I've got it. I know how to use the tools. And I kind of have my process down now. And now I really need to start expanding on that.
You know, it was interesting when I saw my friend Rachel doing it. She had a kit that would make flowers. So it was like one side of the paper is flat, but the top part is like scallops. So when you rolled it together, it would open up into a flower. And so it was even more three-dimensional, I guess, is a way of saying it. So it's like, it's scrolled into like a spiral, you know, and if you wrapped it tight, then you had this beautiful flower because it had all these petals because it was scalloped at the top. And like some of the tops maybe would be like leaf shape, a repeating leaf shape pattern. And
she was doing that with tools?
Yeah, so she just stuck it on the tool, you know, because the end is like a stick with a slot in it.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about the tools.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. So, do you want to talk about the tools?
I'll just really quickly, since we're talking about it. So, the kit that I bought was less than $10. And it comes with a tool that's called a slotted tool. And it just has a little handle. And it is just like a little post with a slot in it. So, you slide this little skinny piece of paper, and you roll it, and you roll it, and you roll it. And it makes a spiral. It also comes with, like, it's called a needle tool. It's basically like a super skinny awl. And you use that to also curl stuff on more freeform and loosely. And then you're going to want a pair of really fine needle tip tweezers because it helps you hold your work. It helps you glue stuff down. It works really, really well. And then you'll need, those are basically the only tools it comes with are those three things. And then you just use like school glue, like Elmer's glue. That's it. Any kind of white school glue. And I mean, depending on the paper you're using, maybe if you want it to last longer, you might want to spend a little bit of extra money and get like an archival glue or something like that. But I don't necessarily think that you have to do that. So, and I use a lot of toothpicks.
Oh, yeah.
To like help me with glue application sometimes. And you want straight pins because you pin your stuff in place while you're letting it dry.
Oh, okay. Didn't even think about that.
And sometimes I do it on a piece of cardboard. And I put saran wrap over a piece of cardboard just so you have something to stick your pens into. And sometimes I have some styrofoam blocks that came in a package years ago that I use for all kinds of stuff like that. I just keep them in my studio. So sometimes I put stuff on a block. So that's all you need for those. And there's also another tool that I don't have that's called a comb. And it looks almost like a hair pick.
Okay.
And you can weave your stuff in and out of that too.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but anyway, so finish telling me about because I'm having a really hard time envisioning what she was doing.
Okay, so it's like your flat piece of paper and one side has a straight cut.
Oh, I see. Never mind. So like one edge of the paper was cut scalloped.
And
Gotcha.
the other side is flat. So you put the flat part at the,
My
in
brain
first
was
into the
like
slot.
thinking that she had a special tool that was twisting it and making it scalloped at the same time.
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, what the fuck would do that?
No, just the paper's pre-cut. She got them in, they're always in kits. And then she just twists them and then you fold down all those little petals. And that was really cool. So if you could like Google that.
Yeah, and you could also, because now I think that you also use obviously strips of paper, and you can buy the paper, and it comes in these little crazy, like the ends are kind of glued together. It's almost like a pad of paper, but it's about standard is about 1/8 inch thick. But they also, you can buy them in 1/4 inch. And looking at the prices of the papers that you buy, I don't plan to replace it. I've just been using my X-Acto blade and cutting it myself.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, because it's kind of expensive, and really you don't have to, it doesn't have to be an 1/8 of an inch thick. You know how weird I get about things getting really tiny and small scale though. So I like the really skinny paper, but it doesn't have to be that small. And I think it's also, I have not had any luck finding any paper quilling supplies or papers in craft stores.
Yeah, you'd have to probably order it online.
Yes.
I think.
So remember the holiday Joann's meltdown that I had? That was what I was looking for, was paper that I could cut so that I could use it for paper quilling. And you want to know the really fucking funny thing? I just wanted a fucking package of paper. Like, you know, how you can buy like a half a ream or a 1/4 of a ream of colored fucking paper. That's all I wanted. An assortment of colors would have been fantastic, but I could have picked out individuals. But you cannot find in a craft store anywhere paper that is not patterned. Because it's stupid to buy the pattern paper because the edges of the pattern paper is white. So, and that's what you would be seeing, is the edge. So, are you still there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just trying to think. You mean the inside, like the core of it, if you cut it?
Yeah, the core of it, if you cut it, it's white.
Right.
And you're laying it on its side on the thing, so you wouldn't actually even see the freaking, there wouldn't be color. So, and I didn't want, all they had was cardstock.
And that doesn't work.
I didn't want cardstock. I didn't think that cardstock would work. So we went from Joann's to Michael's after I had my little drug-addled-brained, like, freak-out session about Joann's. We get into Michael's and I'm like, look, Mom, here. I knew Michael's would have it. And I get it and I bring it home and I got 2 of them because I thought, ooh, these colors are cool too. I'll use them for another project. And then I got colors that were matching my niece's room. She wants her room done in black and turquoise. And so I got different colors of like a spectrum of like teals and turquoise colors. I got that fucking package of paper home and it was fucking cardstock. But it worked.
Oh, it did?
It worked fine. It was really, really floppy cardstock. As a matter of fact, I made postcards out of some of that the other stuff that I bought here not too long ago, and I thought, oh, that's kind of flimsy for postcards. So it was really thin cardstock. But paper is another thing that you'll need, and you'll want solid color paper.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. It was crazy. But I've really, and you know what's funny? It's a pretty tedious process.
Yeah, I see. It's not for me.
But here's the thing. I didn't think I would like it because it's so fussy and tedious. But my strange little OCD brain really gets off on the repetitive process of scrolling paper.
That's funny.
It does something to it is very soothing to me.
That's good.
It's so weird. I was like, I would set up my little iPad I got for Christmas, and I was watching like Supernatural, binging on that show and doing my little paper quilling, and I was like in a zen place. It was 3:00 in the morning before I realized what time it was one night.
Isn't that funny? Like, the things like I can repetitively do, like knitting over and over again. That doesn't bother me. Like, I can sit and do wire wraps, like looped wire wraps when I'm doing my jewelry. It doesn't even faze me. But other stuff, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I know, because even like knitting today, kind of off topic, but I got on the bus to come home from my mom's, and it's a rickety little like short bus that goes from the coast to Portland. I get on there and I'm in a very crucial part in my sock. I'm making like the gusset or the flap part for the heel.
Uh-huh.
And I'm all cozy, and I start knitting, and I have my earbuds in, and I'm listening to music, so the freaky dude next to me won't talk to me, and I get my knitting, and we go over a bump, and my whole fucking arm jerked, and I pulled the whole goddamn needle out of the row.
Oh,
and I just went, fuck this, and I put it in a bag, and I zipped it up, and I put it in my purse, because I was like, I can't even deal with this right now.
Oh my God, I would have been so pissed.
I was so mad, so then I took a nap.
You know what? That's why I don't carry those kind of projects on, like, anywhere outside of my house. I always keep on my needles just a straight, like, knitting of a scarf. So, doesn't even matter if I drop a stitch or whatever, you know. It's like, I don't have to count or pay attention or do any pattern. That's funny.
I get so particular about stuff.
But
that's another, back to paper quilling, that is one thing that appeals to me, because you know how I like to go rogue. Like, once I figure something out, I just kind of want to do my own thing with it.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see what comes out of this paper quilling with you, because I can't believe that the monogram that you did was the first one that you did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awesome.
So it turned out pretty good. I thought it was really great. I just made a big letter N, and then I put it in a shadow box that I got at, like, Target. They had shadow box frames on sale around the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
So I just put it in there on that. And she thought it was really cool.
Well, it was stunning because, like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I mean, like, it was so freeform, but then it was so angular because it's a letter N. So it's like, of course you have to have straight lines. It was perfect. Like, oh my God, mine would have looked like.
Well, I did have a couple of fails at that project first.
Oh, okay, well, that makes
sense. Like, I had to go through it a couple of times and kind of figure out, because what you really want to do when you're doing something angular like that is I'm going to walk you through the process of how I do it. And I've learned to do it by watching videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
So what I do is I printed off a letter N. I found a font that I liked, and I set it up so it was outline only and no fill.
Oh.
And then I just printed off the outline of that letter. And then you kind of have to take your strips of paper, and you usually, when you're doing the outline of something, you have to, because when you buy the strips for paper quilling, they're really, really long. Mm-hmm. But then you usually have to glue two together to get it long enough. So you just kind of overlap it in a spot.
Uh-huh.
So really what you do is you kind of have to hold it in place and measure to where the first fold is, and then fold it and crease it with your thumbnail. And then kind of keep it taut and keep that fold in the corner that it goes in, and go down to the next place where the direction's going to change on the line, and fold it and crease it with your fingernail. So you go through and kind of dry fold all those lines before you glue anything together.
Oh.
And then when you glue it together, you hold those corners with your straight pins. in place. So you're using the letter N that you printed off for the guide, and I put saran wrap over the top of it and kind of saran wrap it to the piece of cardboard. So then you're gluing it, and it doesn't matter if glue gets on the saran wrap, it's not going to stick to it. Whereas if you just did it straight on the template paper, it would glue on there, and then it would tear and look like crap. So
so then you take it off the saran wrap and then put it on.
Yes.
To your. Oh.
So once you've got it down on the saran wrap, and then you have your outline glued, and this is exactly how I did the skull too. I just drew the skull on a piece of paper. I just kind of sketched out the lines. I didn't do anything fancy. I just needed a line drawing basically, so that I knew where I was going to put everything, and then I pinned everything in place. And I am going to post, I think I took step-by-step pictures of the skull that I did.
So then you just lift it up and then put it onto the...
Yeah, because what you do is you fill it with all the scroll work.
Right.
Like all of that quilled stuff. So everything's being glued together. So when you lift it, it all comes up as one big piece.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
So then you just thing. And then you put glue on the back side of it, and then you glue it to the piece of paper that you want it to be on.
So you're not gluing like every single edge, I'm assuming.
No, what you do, and it takes, now, I got a little crazy with glue at first because I cannot handle myself around glue. I just can't. And thank God it doesn't take super glue because it would have been awful.
Oh my God.
So, but that's what I use the toothpicks for. You literally just put a little dab of glue on, I put it on the back side, the back corner, farthest away from me on the saran wrap. Just a little blob, like maybe the size of a nickel.
Oh.
And then I dip the toothpick in it, and you just, excuse me, you just barely brush a little bit of glue on the edge of that piece of paper with the toothpick, and then you kind of hold it together with your tweezers until it dries really fast because it's such a small amount of glue.
Right. Oh God. See, I was like trying to figure out how you didn't get just such a gluey mess everywhere.
And actually, the less glue you use, the better. And that was where I made the mistake with the first couple of tries I had. Everything was just getting soggy because I was using too much glue. Because my motto is, hey, if a little bit of glue will do, let's just empty this fucking jar on the shit. It'll stay together forever.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So that's really good to know. Okay.
Yeah. Now, that's not how, like, even in the paper quilling Chinese style, like, some of these people are gluing straight onto the paper that they're going to be displaying it on. However, these are people who this is their art. Like, they have perfected it, and it's a little bit intimidating. So I don't think there's anything wrong with using the template and the saran wrap method because it just gives you a little bit more direction. So I'm not ready to go freehand on this yet, but it's really neat. And I think I'll post this as a tutorial. Actually, I never even thought about that, but because I do have step-by-step photos, I'll just do a little tutorial in our blog.
Yeah, you totally should. That would be awesome.
So, because that'll work out. Because we're going to try, I want to try to start doing more tutorials and actually making our own videos. So those are some things that are going to be coming up that we're going to talk about in future episodes. Because as we build up to, because Sharon, we're almost to our 1 year anniversary.
I know, I can't believe it. It's crazy.
I mean, like, technically, like 52 episodes. Wait, are there 52 weeks in a year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, right. I just had this little brain fart for a second. You have to excuse me because I spent the weekend with my mother and my grandma, and I'm pretty sure I have brain damage because my grandma keeps the house so fucking hot. Like, I got queasy today.
Oh no.
Before we left because it was so fucking hot, and I was running around packing my bag up and making sure that I had everything because I hate leaving shit places and I'm notorious for it. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna fucking puke.
Oh my God.
Like, I had to go outside and cool off, and I looked at my mom. She came outside and I said, how can you fucking stand this? Because she lives with my grandma, and she goes, well, you just get used to it. And I'm like, I don't think I ever would.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It was awful. So I'm still, bleh. I didn't sleep in my own bed for the whole weekend. And my grandma has kept it so hot that I now have like a sore throat and sore sinuses just because it was so fucking dry and god awful hot.
Wow.
And they have a wood stove.
Oh, yep.
So she was like, I was sitting there literally sweating. Like I was sweating. I was in my nightie.
Oh my God.
A sleeveless nightie that I wear in the summer. I am sitting on their couch eating ice cream.
Oh my God.
Dripping in sweat. And my grandma got up and put 3 pieces of wood in the fire. And I looked at my mom and I said, are you fucking kidding me? Is this happening right now?
Oh
and
my
mom
God.
just made this like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you face. And I was like, I don't know how she wasn't dying.
Is that their only source of heat?
No, they have electric heat too. And the thing is,
Okay.
my grandma thinks that since it's the month of February now, that she just goes by season and not actual temperature.
Oh, that is hilarious. Like, oh, there's no climate change.
Yeah.
Gotta put 3 more logs on.
Oh my God, and it's so awful.
And it's been so, like, muggy and, like,
It has been. And the thing is,
balmy.
I don't know, people who have grown up on a coastal region, like, especially like the Oregon coast, where you get good storms and it's not nice all the time. When you have a storm rolling in, it is often warm.
Yeah.
And muggy
Mm-hmm.
before the storm hits. And that's how it was this last weekend because we had a pretty good storm over the weekend while I was down there. And the temperature, it just gets this stagnant, weird in the air. And so it was over 90 degrees in their house.
Oh, in the house.
And I was like, Grandma, it's almost 70 outside. You're killing me.
Oh my.
Thank God my mom sleeps with her bedroom window open.
Oh God. Oh, did you share the room with your mom?
Yeah, I just sleep with my mom instead of blowing up the air mattress.
Yeah.
But you have to remember also that I have not, but maybe twice this winter, not slept with a fan blowing on me. Because I'm having some hormonal things happen in my life that I've been in denial about for a while. But I asked the lady that I said something at the because I go to water aerobics and I'm by far the youngest person in my water aerobics class. And this lady was standing there and I was kind of talking to another woman I know. I said, I don't know, I think I've been having hot flashes. And the woman turned around and goes, oh, you'll fucking know. I was like, oh, okay. And I said, well, it's just that the back of my neck is sweating and that's never happened in my entire life. Like, I feel like I grew new sweat glands back there. And she goes, look at me when I tell you you'll fucking know. Trust me, you'll fucking know. And then she turned around and walked off.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It was crazy. Well, and then fucking Friday.
Oh my God.
So there's these 2 ladies in my class, and one of them was asking the other about asthma medicine, and if and when I say they're older, like these women are well into their 80s. Like well into their 80s. And they have reached this beautiful point of I just could give less fucks. They don't fucking care. They stand there naked and gab back and forth. Like I'm still kind of trying to hide my fatal region around the middle from people. They don't fucking care. Like I have seen more old lady labia in the last 2 years of my life than I ever needed to. So we're standing there and I kind of piped in because I have asthma. So I was saying like, do you take an allergy pill? Blah, blah, blah. And then this one lady goes, well, I used to climb mountains for crying out loud. And then the other lady goes, when you were young. And the woman throws her shirt down and goes, well, just how old do you think I am, Gladys? She throws her shirt down and she goes, oh, Jesus Christ, Helen, you haven't climbed a mountain in 40 years. And she goes, 30. And I was like, I'm going to witness a naked old lady fight. And I was so terrified. I was like, this is freaking me shit out. I need to have clothes on when this happens because I don't want to get hit by a stray old boob or something. Like, it was crazy. I don't know how we got off on this tangent, but
I'm putting a challenge to you that you paper quill a naked old lady or like a naked old lady fight.
Dude, it's on like Donkey Kong. I'm not even fucking kidding you. I can do that. I'm envisioning it in my head right now. Because that would really lend itself to like facial wrinkles. And like wrinkly boobs. I'm gonna paper quill a naked old lady fight.
Oh god. Oh my god.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Oh
yeah.
my god. That doesn't even top this. That completely tops the story that I was gonna.
No, what were you
tell.
gonna say though? I totally forgot I interrupted you.
No, I don't think you interrupted me at all. I was just gonna say that working in women's health, it's like you do get some women that are calling, and I sympathize. I'm gonna be there pretty soon, calling like demanding their hormone therapy. Like I have run out, and it's getting real ugly over here. So
Okay.
you gotta call in my
Seriously,
HRT.
my brothers used to ask my mom if it was time for her shot.
Oh.
They would be like, "Mom, is it time for your shot? Because we'll give you a ride."
That's not nice.
No, well, my mom had a radical...
He's gonna need Viagra soon.
Yeah. My mom had a radical history. By the way, I think that both of my brothers could use a little slowdown in the libido department anyway, because they're dirty, dirty man whores. So they don't need Viagra. But that's a totally different thing. My mom had a radical hysterectomy when she was 28 years old.
Oh.
So she was thrown into menopause when she was 28. And we started calling her Genghis Mom.
That's terrible. I love your mom even more now because
Seriously?
I have this empathy for her. That's terrible.
You never knew what the fuck you were going to get from her. She would be laughing hysterically, and then it would turn into this weird sobbing,
Oh,
like
I
with
just want to
no
hug her.
warning. And then she would be so fucking furious with no explanation, and scary furious. Like, okay, I should put a picture of my mom up just so people can know how petite and little
And sweet.
kind of round but sweet she is, because I watched her. Was the very last Star Wars movie where that Yoda got into a fight? And maybe it was the second of the new ones. The second one where Yoda was like, "Pew, pew, pew," badass ninja around with his fucking lightsaber. Do you remember that scene?
Yes.
Like, it was kind of crazy. You're like, "Whoa, Yoda, where'd you get those fucking moves?" So I witnessed my mom do that. Because my brother, I think that I was a senior in high school, so that would have made my brother Abe a sophomore, and he said something. I don't remember what he said to my mom, but it was awful, because I remember like my mouth flying open and my brother Josh's mouth flying open, and we were looking at each other like, shit's going down. This is not okay. My mom somehow went from a standing position to her feet both coming off the ground, flying across the room, and kicking my brother square in the chest, and knocking him on his ass, and then she landed on her feet. I don't even know how it happened.
I have so much more respect for your mom now.
She was so mad. When she's mad,
That's
she
amazing.
has superpowers.
That's amazing. I love your mom
know
so
my
much.
brothers don't
Every time you
deserve
tell me
that.
a story, I just love her more and more.
It was crazy. So, yeah.
She had to deal with you crazy.
She did, and
jackasses.
she always called us a pack of howler monkeys. We were awful children. Like, we
Yeah,
set shit
you-
on fire and stuff, so.
Yeah. And your mom's so sweet.
She is. She can be kind of terrible, though, I'm not gonna lie. Just don't piss her off.
Well, that's her superpower.
It is her superpower. But I should totally also paper quill my mother doing a flying ninja kick.
Yeah,
Through the air.
totally. With some, somehow, hook it up with your crazy LED lights and they'd be like red eyes.
You keep reminding me. I have to add that to our list of episodes to do. Wiring LEDs into your art.
Shit.
Shit and stuff. Into junk, yo.
Junk, yo.
Paper quilling.
Do it,
Totes,
yo.
Do it, yeah. I'm going to post a tutorial
Okay.
that I didn't plan on doing, but I realized that I probably could and should. So I'll post that on our blog, which you can be found at twoartsygals.wordpress.com. And Oh my God, I totally forgot. Okay, so next week we're going to have to read the awesome email that lady sent us this weekend.
Yeah, let's read that next weekend. Yeah.
Because I can't I don't have my phone in the room with me, but new listener, I can't remember your name because I had my brain scrambled literally like an egg in old lady house this weekend. But you made my day with your awesome email.
Oh my God.
And you made Sharon's day. Sharon wanted to totally lick your face because she loved it so much. So we will read that next weekend, or next week. Whoa, my cat just went through here like someone shot her out of a cannon. We'll read that. And also, she sent us a picture of a really cool thing that I think we need to do an episode about that.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm going to have her send us the tutorial for it. And so we love getting mail from you guys. That's what the point of bringing it up was. Is send some more mail, listeners. It was awesome. Tell us about your paper quilling disasters and successes. We'd love to hear about it. We'd love to hear anything. So you can email us at 2artsygals@gmail.com. I'm ready for it again. Do it. So yeah, and I've been forgetting to say that you can download us or subscribe to us or listen to us on Stitcher, the Stitcher app, which is free, and also on iTunes. So you should also do that. And I don't know what we're going to talk about next week because I am lazy and I haven't written our schedule out for the month. But I will do that. And then we will be back next week and we'll talk about something super awesome, I promise. So until then, go make some cool shit, yo.
Yo.